With the failure of TV in the West, sinking under the weight of preachy scripts, cookie-cutter characters, and forced messaging, the rise of Eastern entertainment has become the salvation for many of us craving something with actual edge. While modern shows play it safe or try to lecture you, anime and other forms of Eastern media have never been afraid to dive headfirst into chaos, brutality, and raw storytelling. But for me, the love affair didn't start in the streaming age like it did for some. I wasn't pulled in by the gateway drug trio of Pokemon, card captors and Digimon, though I watched them out of sheer osmosis thanks to the schoolyard chatter. My entry point came earlier and darker. While my friends were trading cards and arguing over what Digimon evolved into what, I was watching a naked assassin exact poetic justice in Crying Freeman, a genetically enhanced teenager tear monsters to pieces in Guyver, and Ryu throwing Hadoukens with murderous intensity in the Street Fighter II anime movie. That was my Saturday morning cartoon lineup: blood, blades, and bioarmor. Sure, some of it didn't age well. The American live-action adaptations of Crying Freeman and Guyver are pretty dire in hindsight. Especially the second Guyver movie where they turned the Bioboosted Armor into a Power Ranger suit dipped in Vaseline. But I'm not gonna lie. The story is better. I still have a soft spot for them. Back then I didn't know better, and honestly, maybe I didn't need to, because at the time they were a doorway into something bigger. They were a hint of what was waiting across the ocean, a storytelling style that didn't hold back, didn't sanitize itself for kids, and didn't insult your intelligence. Where Western cartoons gave you slapstick and morals, these shows gave you conspiracies, grotesque body transformations, and protagonists who actually had to suffer to grow stronger. It was horror, sci-fi, martial arts, and mystery all rolled into one, and once you tasted that blend, it was hard to go back to anything else. Welcome to the Snake Pit, where we're full of bile and venom. I'm your host, Snake Daemon, and today we're diving into a story that checks nearly every box for me: monsters and aliens, horror and sci-fi, conspiracies and transformation. A story that's equal parts grotesque and gripping, a series that deserved more love than it ever got. I'm talking about Guyver the Bioboosted Armor. The Chronos Corporation has plans for world domination because of course it does. And like all good evil corporations, it doesn't bother with boring things like PR campaigns or political manipulation when it can just bioengineer entire armies of monsters. These shape-shifting warriors, known as zoonoids, are disguised as normal people until they erupt into hulking, grotesque forms capable of tearing through tanks and turning cities into meat grinders. But one zoonoid, one with a conscience, defects, stealing a case containing 3 mysterious artifacts, the Guyver units. Before he can do much with them, he's ambushed by Chronos agents and blows himself up in a last act of defiance, scattering the units into the wild. Enter Shō Fukamachi, your average high school student, until he stumbles across one of the units and accidentally fuses with it. Suddenly he's encased in living armor that boosts every stat to nightmare levels and arms him with tools that would make a predator blush. From vibrating blades that can cut through steel to a chest cannon that vaporizes zoonoids, he's now Guyver I. And the world just became a lot more dangerous. Chronos immediately sets its sights on recovering the Guyver unit, even if it means killing Shō in the process. Their agents are relentless, the zoonoids are many, and through all of it, Shō is forced to grow, not just as a fighter, but as a person. It's the perfect blend of bio-horror meets reluctant hero. Think David Cronenberg's Spider-Man if Peter Parker had to rip off limbs instead of shoot webs. The best part, you're never entirely sure who to trust. As the story unfolds, you meet more characters, allies, traitors, and other Guyver users like Agito Makishima, Guyver III, a walking red flag who's clearly got his own agenda. He's got that cold charisma and tactical brilliance that makes you wonder if he's about to save the day or stab you in the back. Spoiler, it's both. The 2005 anime remake, Guyver the Bioboosted Armor, is the most faithful adaptation of the manga so far, covering the first 10 volumes in a 26-episode arc. It builds up the mythos, peels back the layers of Chronos, and shows just how high the stakes are. A secret war is being fought right under society's nose, and the public is completely oblivious. I liked it, mostly, right up until around episode 18. That's when the screen time shifts to Misuki, Tetsuro's sister and Shō's love interest, and she starts getting way too much attention. Now, I know the series needed a human element, but Misuki's naive optimism reached near-comical levels. When the literal townspeople start turning into monsters and trying to kill our heroes, her immediate reaction is, "But they're still people." No, Misuki, they are not people. They're zoonoid meat puppets hell-bent on ripping out your boyfriend's spine. Stop trying to get everyone killed. By episode 22 or 23, her influence on Shō was dragging him down too, making him hesitate and question whether he should be fighting at all. Thankfully, Guyver III shows up like the black-clad anti-hero he is, and gives the plot a needed kick in the guts. Agito's plan never fully pays off in this series. We get hints, we get schemes, but the full arc clearly needed another season. Same goes for Shō's transformation after his 6-month chrysalis. The power boost is awesome, but it needed more payoff. He looked like he could take on multiple Zoolords at once, but we never got to see him truly unleashed. Still, despite these missed opportunities, I'm glad I watched the whole thing. It scratched that itch for transformation horror, secret organizations, alien weaponry, and tragic character arcs. It delivered brutal action without pulling punches, and even when it stumbled in the right direction. If there's one thing I'd wish for in a revival or sequel, give Misuki a Sarah Connor upgrade. Give her a shotgun, some scars, and a personal vendetta. No more hand-wringing and teary-eyed speeches. We've had enough pacifist passengers. Time to level her up or phase her out. Because Guyver isn't just about strength. It's about what happens when you're forced to adapt, mutate, and evolve, physically and emotionally, in the face of an enemy that controls everything. And in that regard, the story still hits. Thanks for dropping by the Snake Pit, where we thrive on untapped potential and lost opportunities. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell, like the video, and leave your opinions in the comments, where, naturally, I won't read them. Until next time, stay venomous.